Imagine a boy from a small home in India. A boy with no television, no computer, no internet. A boy who loved numbers, patterns, and solving problems. He was quiet, but curious, smart, but humble. No one knew that one day he would lead one of the biggest technology companies in the world. This is the story of Sundar Pichai. How did he rise from a simple life in Chennai to the top of Google? How did he face challenges, doubts, and failures? How did he lead millions of people and change the future of technology? You will hear about his struggles, his victories, his moments of doubt, his greatest risks. You will see how hard work, intelligence, and patience helped him succeed. But success is never easy. He had to prove himself again and again. He had to make difficult decisions. He had to fight for his ideas. And even after reaching the top, his journey was not over. What happened when the world questioned Google's power? How did Sundar handle pressure, criticism, and competition? Could he keep Google at the top and lead it into the future? Keep listening, because this is a story of dreams, challenges, and triumph. And by the end, you will see anything is possible. Chapter 1. A Simple Life in India. Welcome to Chennai, India. The year is 1972. The air is warm, the streets are busy, and the sounds of honking cars and distant voices fill the city. Inside a small home in a quiet neighborhood, a baby boy is born. His parents name him Sundararajan Pichai. No one knows it yet, but this boy will one day lead one of the biggest technology companies in the world. His home is simple. 2 rooms, 1 small kitchen. There is no television, no refrigerator, no telephone. But inside this house, there is something more valuable than technology. There is love, there is hard work, and there is education. Sundar's father, Raghunatha Pichai, is an engineer. He works for a British company making electrical parts. He is quiet but intelligent. He believes in learning, in solving problems, in thinking deeply. His mother, Lakshmi, is kind and hard-working. She teaches shorthand and typing before she stays home to take care of Sundar and his older brother. The Pichai family does not have much money. They live a modest life, like many middle-class families in India at that time. They do not own a car. They take the bus. They do not eat in restaurants. They cook their meals at home. But Sundar does not feel poor. He does not feel like he is missing anything. He has books. He has curiosity. He has dreams. From a young age, Sundar notices things. He watches his father work. He listens to his conversations about machines and technology. He does not understand everything, but he remembers. He asks questions. Why do machines work this way? How do they communicate? What makes them stop? What makes them start? Then, one day, something new arrives in their home. It is small. It is simple. But it will change everything. A telephone. It is not a mobile phone. It is not a smartphone. It is an old-fashioned rotary dial telephone. the kind where you put your finger inside the hole and turn the dial. It is nothing special to most people, but to Sundar, it is a miracle. The first time his father dials a number, Sundar watches closely. His eyes follow the movement of the dial. He listens carefully. The numbers, the clicks, the way the dial returns to its place. Something about it is fascinating. And then something incredible happens. Sundar remembers the number after seeing it just once. Not just that number, every number. Every single number his family dials, he remembers. His parents are shocked. "How do you do that?" they ask. Sundar just smiles. He does not know. His brain just works that way. This talent is unusual, special, but no one thinks much about it. After all, it is just a telephone, a small trick, a fun skill, nothing more. But one day, it will be the key to something much, much bigger. Sundar grows up in a changing India. The 1970s and 1980s are different times. Technology is growing, but slowly. There are no computers in his home, no internet. The world is moving forward, but in Chennai, life feels the same. School, home, study, sleep. School, home, study, sleep. But Sundar does not mind. He loves learning. He loves numbers. He loves patterns. At school, he is quiet, not the loudest, not the most popular, but he is smart. He does well in math and science. His teachers notice. His classmates respect him. He does not study because someone tells him to. He studies because he wants to. He enjoys solving problems, finding answers, understanding the world. His father encourages him. Every night, after work, they sit together. They talk about machines, about circuits, about how things work. Sundar listens. He learns. He dreams. And then something happens. One evening, his father comes home. He looks tired, but excited. He carries a book about engineering. Sundar's heart races. A book, a new book. He cannot wait to open it. He does not know that this book will change his life. Inside, there are diagrams, equations, explanations of how machines communicate, how electrical circuits work, how technology is built. Sundar does not understand everything, but he wants to. He needs to. He asks his father questions. 100 questions. 1,000. Why? How? What if? His father answers as best as he can. But soon, Sundar knows more than the book. He is ready for more. At school, he excels. Teachers push him to join competitions. Math competitions, science fairs, problem-solving challenges. He does well. He wins. But Sundar does not want trophies. He does not care about prizes. He just wants to learn. His biggest test is yet to come. In India, there is one university that every young scientist dreams of. IIT, the Indian Institute of Technology. It is the best, the hardest to enter. Thousands apply. Only the best are accepted. The entrance exam is legendary. It is not just difficult. It is impossible for most. Sundar knows this. He studies harder. He wakes up early. He goes to bed late. Books, notebooks, pencils, papers. Days pass. Months pass. The exam is coming. Can he do it? Is he ready? The day arrives. He sits down. The clock starts. The questions are tough. Some students panic, some give up. Sundar does not. He focuses, he thinks, he solves. The hours pass, the test ends, and then the waiting begins. Days feel like years. His parents try to stay calm. They tell him, "No matter what happens, we are proud of you." But inside, they hope, they pray. Then, the results. He opens the letter. His hands shake. He reads, "Accepted." His mother cries. His father smiles. Sundar. He breathes. This is just the beginning. A boy from a small home, with no TV, no computer, no phone, is now going to one of the best universities in the world. But the journey is far from over. Ahead, there will be challenges, difficulties, decisions, a new country, a new life, a new world. For now, he celebrates. Tomorrow, the real work begins. Chapter 2. A Curious Mind. The streets of Chennai were busy. Cars honked, buses rumbled, and people walked quickly, moving from one place to another. In a small home, Sundar Pichai sat near the window, watching the world outside. He was not like other children. He did not just see things. He observed them. Every detail, every pattern, every small change. Numbers fascinated him. He saw them everywhere, on buses, on buildings, on books. While other children played, Sundar counted. He counted stairs, he counted train tickets, he counted minutes until the power cut ended. Numbers were his world. They made sense when nothing else did. One day, something magical happened. A telephone arrived in their home. It was old, with a rotary dial. It was not special to most people, but to Sundar, it was a mystery waiting to be solved. He watched his father dial a number. The clicking sound, the movement of the dial, the way it returned to its place. He memorized everything. And then, something surprising happened. His father dialed a number once. Just once. Sundar remembered it. The next day, another number. He remembered that too. Again and again. He never forgot. Every number, every sequence stayed in his mind like a photograph. His family was amazed. "How do you do that?" his mother asked. Sundar just shrugged. He did not know. It felt natural, easy. At school, numbers helped him again. Math was not difficult for him. He could see the answer before others finished reading the question. His teachers noticed. His classmates were impressed. "How do you do it?" they asked. Sundar smiled. "I just see the pattern." Patterns. That was the key. He loved puzzles. He loved finding solutions. When something was broken, he wanted to fix it. When a question was difficult, he wanted to solve it. His mind worked like a machine, always thinking, always searching for answers. But he was not loud, not the center of attention. He was quiet, focused. He listened more than he spoke. While others talked, he thought. While others played, he watched. He wanted to understand the world. His father saw this. He knew his son was different, special. So every night after work, they talked. Not about school, not about homework, but about machines, how they worked, how they were built, what made them move. Sundar listened carefully, every word, every idea. One evening, his father brought home something new, a book, a technical book about electronics. It was thick, complicated, full of diagrams. It was not for children. But Sundar did not care. He opened it. He turned the pages. He tried to understand. For days, he studied the book. He did not understand everything, but he kept reading. He asked his father questions. Why does electricity move like this? How does a circuit work? What happens if you change this wire? His father answered patiently. Then, one night, his father gave him a challenge. A simple circuit. Just an idea. Can you figure it out? He asked. Sundar's eyes lit up. A challenge. A puzzle. He sat down. He thought. He imagined the wires, the connections, the energy moving. He drew on a piece of paper. Slowly, carefully. After a long time, he looked up. Like this? He asked. His father checked the drawing. He smiled. Yes, he said. Exactly like that. That moment changed everything. Sundar realized something. He did not just love numbers. He loved problems. He loved solutions. He wanted to build things. He wanted to create. At school, he worked even harder. His teachers gave him extra questions. He solved them. His classmates asked for help. He helped them. He did not show off. He did not need to. He simply enjoyed learning. But school was not always easy. Some subjects were boring. Some teachers were strict. Some students were cruel. In India, education was competitive. Students worked hard. Very hard. The best students got the best opportunities. The pressure was high. Some days it was exhausting. But Sundar never gave up. His mother encouraged him. Education is the key, she said. Keep learning. Keep going. And he did. At home, he spent hours reading, books, newspapers, anything he could find. His father's engineering books were still his favorite. He dreamed of building machines, of making technology better. But there was a problem. Chennai did not have the latest technology. Computers were rare. The internet did not exist. If Sundar wanted to learn more, he needed to go beyond books, beyond school, beyond Chennai. One day, a teacher mentioned something exciting. A university, a famous university, the best in India. IIT, the Indian Institute of Technology. It was a place for the smartest students, the future engineers, the future scientists. But getting in? That was almost impossible. Thousands applied. Only a few were chosen. The entrance exam was legendary. Sundar's heart raced. Could he do it? Could he pass? He decided to try. For months, he studied harder than ever. While others played, he read. While others slept, he solved equations. It was not easy. Some days he wanted to stop. Some days he felt tired, lost, unsure. But he kept going. One problem at a time, one day at a time. The exam day arrived. The classroom was silent. The clock started. The test began. The questions were difficult. Some students panicked. Some stared at their papers, frozen. But Sundar stayed calm. He focused. He thought carefully. Step by step, he worked through the problems. Then, it was over. The waiting was the hardest part. Days passed. The results would come soon. His parents tried to hide their worry, but Sundar could feel it. The pressure, the hope, the fear. Then, the letter arrived. His hands shook as he opened it. His eyes scanned the page. Accepted. His mother cried. His father hugged him. Sundar smiled. He had done it. But this was just the beginning. A new world was waiting. New challenges, new experiences, new technology. He was ready. He did not know it yet. But one day, his love for numbers, patterns, and problems would change the world. Chapter 3. Studying Hard, Dreaming Big. In India, education was not just important. It was everything. A good education meant a good future. A good future meant security, success, a better life. Parents worked hard so their children could study. They sacrificed. They hoped. They prayed. Sundar's parents were no different. They knew their son was smart. They saw his talent, his love for numbers, his endless curiosity. But talent was not enough. Hard work mattered. Discipline mattered. The competition was fierce. Thousands of students, all studying, all dreaming of a place at the best universities. Only a few would succeed. Every morning Sundar woke up early. The streets were quiet, the city still sleeping. He sat at his desk, books open, pencil in hand, mathematics, science, logic. His mind worked like a machine, solving problems, finding patterns. Time passed quickly. The sun rose. The city woke up. Another day of school began. In class, he listened carefully. Every word, every formula, every explanation. He did not just memorize. He understood. He asked questions. Why does this work? What happens if we change this? How can this be better? His teachers noticed. Some were impressed. Some were surprised. Few students thought like Sundar. But it was not always easy. The pressure was high. Every exam mattered. Every mark counted. Some students studied all night, afraid of failing. Some cried when they did badly. Some gave up. Sundar felt the pressure too. He worried. He doubted himself. Was he good enough? Could he really compete with the best? His mother encouraged him. Do your best, she said. That's all that matters. His father gave him advice. Work hard, he said, but never stop learning. Their words helped. Their support gave him strength. Competitions came. Mathematics, science, problem solving. Each one was a test, a challenge. Sundar participated. He focused. He thought quickly. He solved problems faster than others. He won. His teachers smiled. His classmates admired him. But trophies were not important to him. Winning was not the goal. Learning was. But one challenge remained. the biggest one. The Indian Institute of Technology, IIT. The dream of every young engineer. The best university in the country, the hardest to enter. Thousands of students applied. Only a few were selected. The entrance exam was famous. Not just difficult, nearly impossible. Students prepared for years. Special classes, private tutors, extra books. The best of the best competed. Some families spent all their money on preparation. The pressure was enormous. Sundar knew the odds, but he also knew one thing. He wanted this, more than anything. He studied harder. He stayed up late, solving equations under the dim light of a small lamp. The room was silent, just him and his books. He solved one problem, then another, then another. The numbers blurred. His mind ached. He took a deep breath and kept going. Days passed, weeks, months. The exam date came closer. The city felt different. In every home, students prepared. Nervous parents waited. Teachers gave last-minute advice. It was almost time. The morning of the exam, Sundar woke up early. He looked in the mirror. His face was calm, but inside, his heart was racing. He took a deep breath. Stay focused. Stay calm. You can do this. The exam hall was large. Rows of desks, hundreds of students. Silence. The air was heavy with tension. The papers were handed out. The clock started. Time began to move fast. The questions were difficult. Some students panicked. Some stared at their papers, unable to think. Sundar took his time. He read carefully. He analyzed. He solved. One question at a time. His mind worked fast, but his hands moved slowly. He did not rush. He did not stop. Minutes passed. Hours. The final bell rang. Time's up. Sundar put down his pen. He exhaled. It was over. Now. The waiting. Days passed. The results would come soon. His parents tried to stay calm, but Sundar could feel it. Their hope, their nervousness. Everyone around him was waiting. Some students avoided talking about it. Others whispered, "What if I fail? What if I don't get in?" The fear was real. The dream was big. Then, the results arrived. A white envelope, his name on the front. His hands shook as he opened it. His heart pounded. His eyes scanned the page. He found the words, "Accepted." His mother covered her mouth, tears in her eyes. His father patted his shoulder, his face full of pride. Sundar looked at the letter again. It felt unreal. The dream had come true. He had made it. But this was just the beginning. Ahead, a new city, a new life, a new challenge. IIT would be harder than anything he had faced before. The best students, the toughest courses, the most brilliant minds. Was he ready? Yes, he was ready. Chapter 4. The Big Break. Moving to the USA. Sundar had done it. He had studied hard, passed the entrance exam, and earned his place at IIT Kharagpur, one of the best engineering schools in India. It was a new world, brighter, faster, more challenging. The students were brilliant. The professors were tough. The expectations were high. Every day was a test. Lectures, assignments, problem solving. The workload was intense. But Sundar didn't complain. He thrived. He listened. He learned. He loved the challenge. His passion for technology grew. Computers, programming, microchips. The world of innovation fascinated him. He wanted to go deeper, to explore more. But there was only so much he could do in India. The latest technology, the biggest companies, the greatest universities, they were all in one place. America. A new dream was born. He wanted to study in the United States. He wanted to go to Stanford University, one of the best in the world. It was a dream that many had, but few achieved. Getting accepted was difficult. The competition was fierce. But Sundar believed in himself. He worked hard, applied, and waited. Days passed, weeks. Then, one day, a letter arrived. His hands trembled as he opened it. His heart pounded. He read the words, "Congratulations! You have been admitted to Stanford University." His dream had come true. He had the talent. He had the opportunity. But there was a problem. A big problem. Money. A plane ticket to the United States cost more than his father's entire annual salary. The tuition fees were high. Living expenses were even higher. It was impossible. How could his family afford it? For the first time, Sundar felt helpless. He had worked so hard. He had earned this chance. And yet, it was slipping away. His father saw the disappointment in his son's eyes. He knew what this meant. He thought about it for days. Then he made a decision. He went to his employer. He asked for a loan. He spoke to banks. He reached out to relatives. Slowly, he gathered the money. Every rupee, every dollar. It was not easy. It was a sacrifice. But he believed in his son. Finally, the day arrived. Sundar packed his bags. His mother cooked his favorite meal. His father gave him advice. Work hard, stay humble, make us proud. His family took him to the airport. It was his first time on a plane. His first time leaving India. As he stepped onto the flight, he looked back one last time. His parents waved. His home was behind him. Ahead, a new country, a new life, a new beginning. The journey was long. Hours passed. The plane crossed oceans, time zones, continents. Then, he arrived. America. Everything was different. The air, the buildings, the streets. People spoke quickly. The food tasted strange. The weather was unfamiliar. It was overwhelming. Stanford was like a dream. Huge libraries, advanced laboratories, the latest computers, some of the world's smartest students. Sundar felt excited and nervous. Classes were tough. Professors expected perfection. Everyone was brilliant. He was not the best anymore. He had to prove himself again. At first, it was difficult. The accent, the culture, the way people thought, it was all new. But Sundar adapted. He listened more. He asked questions. He worked harder. Slowly, he found his place. He met students from different countries. He learned new ideas. His world expanded. He realized something important. Technology was not just about machines. It was about people. He studied semiconductor physics. He learned about chip design. He saw the future of computing. He wanted to be a part of it. Stanford opened doors. Companies noticed him. Opportunities came. The best minds in Silicon Valley worked nearby. Google, Apple, Microsoft. The tech world was right there. But Sundar was not ready yet. He had another goal, another dream. He wanted to keep learning. He wanted to do his master's degree. He had come so far. But this was just the beginning. Chapter 5. New challenges, new opportunities. The plane touched down in California. Sundar stepped off, feeling the crisp air of a new country. The sky was clear, the roads wide, the buildings tall. Everything felt different. The people spoke quickly. Their accents were strange. The food smelled unfamiliar. The cars were bigger. The streets were quieter. It was exciting, but also overwhelming. He had dreamed of this moment. Stanford University, one of the best in the world. A place where brilliant minds came together. A place where technology was changing the future. But being here was not the same as imagining it. He felt small in this vast new world. Classes were difficult. Professors expected the best. The assignments were long. The projects were complex. Every student around him was smart, confident, fast. He listened in lectures, but sometimes he struggled to understand the words, the ideas, the culture. It was all new. For the first time in his life, he felt unsure of himself. Back in India, he had been one of the top students. Here, he was just another face in the crowd. The competition was intense. Some students had been working with advanced technology for years. Some had grown up in homes full of computers, labs, and libraries. He had to catch up, so he worked harder. Late nights in the library, extra hours in the lab, reading, researching, learning. He pushed himself beyond his limits. His mind was like a machine, always thinking, always solving, always hungry for more. Slowly, things started to change. He began to understand. The subjects made sense. His confidence grew. Professors noticed his dedication. His classmates respected his ideas. He was no longer an outsider. He was part of something bigger. But just as things were getting better, another challenge arrived. His student loan was running out. Money was tight. Living in America was expensive. Rent, food, books, it all added up. His family had done everything to send him here, but they could not support him forever. He had a choice. Give up his education or find a way forward. Sundar started looking for opportunities. He applied for scholarships. He searched for part-time jobs. He needed something, anything, to stay in school. Then he got an offer. A teaching assistant position. It paid little, but it was enough. Enough to survive. Enough to stay. He took it. Teaching was a new experience. Standing in front of a class, explaining concepts, answering questions. It was not easy, but it helped him grow. It made him a better thinker, a better speaker, a better leader. With this job, he stayed at Stanford. He continued learning, researching, exploring. His professors guided him. His classmates challenged him. His world kept expanding. Then, something unexpected happened. A company noticed him. A company that worked with materials and chip design. They were impressed by his knowledge. They wanted him on their team. Sundar had never worked in a real company before. He was nervous, but he saw an opportunity, a chance to apply everything he had learned, a chance to build something real. He took the job. Now, he was no longer just a student. He was an engineer. He was solving real problems, working with real technology, learning from real experts. His world was changing again. But deep inside, he knew. This was not the end. This was just the beginning. Before we begin Chapter 6, a quick note for our listeners. You're currently listening to this audiobook on Woo English. Remember, this content is specially made for Woo English listeners only. If you're hearing it on any other channel, it may be a violation of Woo English's rights. Please ensure you're tuned into the right source to fully enjoy and respect this audiobook journey. Now, let's continue the story. Chapter 6. From Engineer to Visionary. Sundar had come a long way. From a small home in Chennai to the classrooms of Stanford. From struggling to understand his first lectures to working as an engineer. Every step had been a challenge. Every moment had been a lesson. But he was not done yet. His first job gave him experience. He worked with smart people. He learned how companies operated. He saw how technology was built, tested, and improved. But something felt missing. He was not just an engineer. He was a problem solver. He wanted to create, not just follow instructions. Every evening after work, he read books, articles, research papers. He watched how the world was changing. The internet was growing. New technology was shaping the future. Companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Google were leading the way. One name stood out. Google. It was young. It was bold. It was different. A company that believed in ideas, in taking risks, in changing the world. It was where the best minds worked, where innovation happened. Sundar knew this was where he wanted to be. But getting into Google was not easy. Thousands of people applied. Only a few were chosen. They wanted the smartest, the most creative, the best. Was he good enough? Would they even notice him? He applied. Then he waited. Days passed. No answer. More days. Still nothing. Then, one morning, an email. Interview invitation. His heart raced. Excitement. Nervousness. It was happening. But this was just the beginning. The interview process at Google was famous. It was tough. Harder than exams. Candidates were given complex problems. They had to think fast, solve quickly, prove they could handle pressure. Sundar prepared. He practiced day and night. He studied Google's products. He learned about their vision. He knew he had only one chance. The first interview was challenging. The second was harder. The third, even harder. The questions were not just about engineering. They were about ideas, about thinking differently. Then, the final round. A panel of interviewers. Tough questions, deep discussions. They asked him about web browsers, about search engines, about what Google could do better. He answered. He explained. He gave ideas. He spoke with confidence. Then, silence. The interviewers looked at each other. Then they smiled. Welcome to Google. He had done it. His journey at Google was about to begin. But no one, not even Sundar, could have imagined how far he would go. Chapter 7. The Chrome Revolution. Google was growing fast. Search engines, email, maps. Its services were everywhere. But there was a problem. A big one. The web browser. People used browsers every day. To read news. To watch videos. To search for answers. But most browsers were slow. Complicated, full of issues. Sundar saw it. He felt it. He knew Google could do better. One day, he shared his idea. Let's build our own browser, he said. The room went silent. A new browser? From Google? It sounded crazy. It sounded impossible. Some laughed. Some shook their heads. Too risky, they said. Too expensive. Too difficult. Others worried. What if we fail? Sundar listened. Then he spoke again. We can make it better. His voice was calm. His plan was clear. A browser that was fast, simple, and powerful. A browser that focused on speed and security. A browser that people would love to use. Slowly, opinions changed. People started listening. Then, Google gave the green light. The project had a name. Chrome. Now, the real work began. Sundar built his team. Engineers, designers, developers. They worked day and night. They tested. They fixed problems. They argued. They improved. Months passed. Then, a year. It had to be perfect. Finally, in 2008, Google Chrome was ready. The world was about to see it. Launch day. Excitement filled the air. The new browser went live. People downloaded it, tried it, tested it, and then something amazing happened. People loved it. It was fast. It was smooth. It was different. Millions started using it. Then, millions more. Chrome didn't just compete. It changed the internet. Sundar had done it. He had taken a risk. He had faced doubt. And he had won. But he was not finished. This was just the beginning. Chapter 8. A Leader in the Making. Sundar had proven himself. Chrome was a success. Millions of people used it. Google had taken a risk and won. But Sundar wasn't done. He was already thinking about what's next. At Google, things moved fast. Every day, new challenges, new ideas, new problems to solve. But something set Sundar apart. He was not just brilliant, he was calm. In meetings, he listened. While others spoke loudly, he observed. While others rushed, he thought. He understood people. He made decisions without fear. Google noticed. He was not just an engineer anymore. He was a leader. One by one, new projects came his way. Google Toolbar, Google Drive, Gmail. He improved them, made them faster, smarter, better. Teams trusted him. Executives respected him. Then, a new opportunity. A big one. Android. The world's most popular mobile system. Millions of phones, billions of users. It needed a new leader. Someone with vision. Someone who could take it further. Google chose Sundar. It was 2014. The tech world was changing. Phones were everywhere. The future was mobile. Android was at the center of it all. But competition was strong. Apple, Samsung, Microsoft. The pressure was enormous. Sundar stepped in. Calm. Focused. Ready. He studied everything. He talked to engineers. He asked the hard questions. What worked? What didn't? What could be better? Slowly, things changed. Android became faster. Updates came quicker. Phones became smarter, more powerful. The world watched. Google watched. Sundar was leading one of the biggest tech revolutions. And then, something even bigger happened. A challenge he never expected. A moment that would change his life forever. Chapter 9. CEO of Google, the biggest challenge yet. The news spread quickly. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, a boy from Chennai, a young engineer with big dreams, a leader who had stayed in the background for years. Now he was at the top. The world watched. Some were surprised, some were curious, some doubted him. Could he handle it? Could he lead a company this big? Google was more than just a search engine. It was everywhere. In every phone, in every home, in every conversation about technology. Billions of users, trillions of searches, millions of devices running on Android. And Sundar was in charge of all of it. The challenges came fast. Privacy concerns, governments questioning Google's power, competitors fighting for attention. The company was growing, but so were the risks. People demanded faster, smarter, safer technology. The pressure was enormous. Sundar remained calm. He listened. He analyzed. He focused on solutions. He made decisions without fear. He pushed Google into new frontiers, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, digital security. He wanted Google to be not just bigger, but better. There were difficult moments, tough questions from the media, protests from employees, customers worried about data privacy. Sundar faced them all. He did not raise his voice. He did not react in anger. He explained, reassured, and promised improvements. His leadership was different, quiet, steady, strong. Under him, Google expanded. New products, new services, new ideas. Technology continued to change the world. And Sundar? He stayed the same. Humble, focused, determined. Years passed. He led with confidence. Then, another moment arrived. Google was restructuring. A new company was being formed. A parent company, bigger than Google, more powerful. It was called Alphabet. And Sundar? He was about to step into an even bigger role. Chapter 10. Leading Google into the Future. Sundar sat in his office, looking out at the city. The world was changing, and Google had to change with it. Technology was moving fast. Artificial intelligence, cloud computing, voice search. The future was here. But leading a company like Google was not easy. Every day brought a new challenge. Competitors were pushing forward. Companies like Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft were growing stronger. Everyone wanted to be at the top. Everyone wanted to shape the future of technology. Inside Google, tensions were rising. Employees had concerns. Some worried about privacy. Some protested against company policies. Some questioned the direction of new projects. Google was no longer just a tech company. It was a global force, influencing governments, businesses, and billions of people. Outside Google, governments were watching closely. Some believed Google was too powerful. They asked hard questions. Was Google using too much personal data? Was it treating employees fairly? Was it controlling the internet? The pressure was enormous. Sundar listened. He stayed calm. He knew that every decision mattered. He focused on what Google did best: innovation. New ideas, new technology, new solutions. Google Assistant became smarter. Google Cloud expanded. AI projects grew. The company invested in self-driving cars, quantum computing, and global internet access. But every step forward brought more challenges. The media criticized. The world debated. Some praised Google's advancements. Others warned about its power. Sundar had to balance growth, ethics, and responsibility. He did not lead with loud speeches or big announcements. He led with strategy, patience, and vision. He believed in problem solving. He believed in listening. He believed that technology should help people, not control them. Years passed. Google evolved. The company faced difficult moments, tough decisions, and global debates. But under Sundar, it continued to grow. And then, a new chapter began. Alphabet, the next big step, the biggest challenge yet. A company bigger than Google itself. And Sundar? He was about to take on even greater responsibility.